Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha.
The purpose of discussing these two types of mental attitudes, the divine and the devilish. What is the purpose of discussing this? So, tatra samsara mokshaya daivi prakriti. Because this daivi prakriti is helpful for getting out of the catch of relative existence, and the devilish is helping us to continue in this relative existence. So, when this is known, that Daivi Sampad Vimokshaya. So, Daivi Sampad Yasa Vimokshaya Samsara Bandhanat. When we know these are the qualities, attributes which are helpful for us to walk the spiritual path, naturally we will try to cultivate them in our heart. Because that alone will take us away from this relative existence. And nibandhaya niyato bandho nibandaha tadartham asuri sampat mata abhipreta tatha rakshasi. And the other prakriti, other attributes which are present in someone, which is called as asuri and the rakshasi, that is nibandhaya, niyata bandaha nibandaha. That which is definitely bound to lead to bondage. Nibandha nishchena bandha. There is no doubt about it. Now, what is the meaning of bondage and liberation in this context? See, as we all know, the four purusharthas which are spoken of in our scriptures, dharma, artha, kama, moksha, in that the first three, the artha, purushartha, is the one which will liberate us from the sense of security to some extent, but it is not absolute. So, wealth, artha, will help us to get rid of the poverty and the associated problems. So, I am poor. When I pursue the wealth, I becomes rich. Similarly, the second purushartha is kama purushartha. I have never enjoyed this thing in my life. Now let me enjoy. I am getting everything now, but it is too late. So, second is kama purushartha. There also, earlier I did not get, now I can enjoy. And the third one, dharma purushartha, is the one which talks about that I am better than others and I have gotten this thing. The whole topic will come subsequently. And in this manner we get tied down in goodness, and that is only a spurious goodness. That goodness which ties us down is not goodness at all. So in this manner, these three, dharma, artha and the kama, they are in the purview of this asuri and the rakshasi sampad. Asuri, as I told you yesterday, that one which is the lifestyle of the indulgent people. These indulgent people, they are only interested in satiating the ticklings of their senses. They have no other purpose in life. So, their Mahamantra is TGIF. TGIF is, thank God it's Friday. So, from Friday onwards, till the Monday morning they are highly spiritual and there becomes a weekend spirituality. One, they are extremely indulgent. The Western world falls in this. This is Asuri. And the Eastern world falls in the Rakshasi. Go on accumulating to such an extent that we keep on accumulating for whom? Say recently you must have also read 2-3 days before, there was one excise sub-inspector or commissioner who was caught with millions and millions of rupees and everything unaccounted. And for what? So they belong to the Rakshasi Pravritti, where accumulation of wealth becomes the only criteria. So Rakshasim, Asurim. And then the third one, Chakarat Trutiya. So the third one is those who are leading the so-called spiritual life just to prove that we are better than others. But in that also that I is still maintained. So the pursuits which fall in the purview of these three pursuits, dharma, artha, kama, here the ego or the I or the jiva bhava is not worked upon, it is maintained. So, Daivi Sampad Vimokshaya, but the fourth pursuit, the Moksha Parama Purushartha, there the attempt is to get rid of this I. And when we will get rid of this I? Abhayam Sattva Samshuddhi Jnana Yoga Vyavasthitihi. When we have fearlessly walked the spiritual path, studied the scriptures properly from the teacher, practiced it in one's own life, and thus through the right kind of approach to life, the inquiry sets in about our own identity as to who we are, and thus we get rid of this limited I and discover the absolute reality that is our essential nature. This is how Daivi Sampad Vimokshaya Nibandhaya Asuri Mata. When this was said, Bhagwan Shankara writes very beautiful. Tatra evam ukte arjunasya antargatam bhavam kim aham asura sampad yuktaha kim va daiva sampad yuktaha iti. When this was discussed, Bhagwan saw, hey, Arjuna is thinking whether I belong to the Asuric Sampatti or the divine Sampatti. So Bhagwan started thinking, hey, don't worry, you are a good person. You know what happens? Whenever there is some comparison, there are some examples, there is something said, immediately if we are guilty, we start feeling whether this is being addressed, care of somebody to me or what. Therefore, here Bhagavan says that evam alochana rupam alaksha aha Bhagavan. So, Arjun may be thinking that whether I am Asuri Sampatti or the Daivi Sampatti Yukta. Therefore, ma shuchaha, shokam ma karshihi. Don't worry, Arjun. Because sampadam daivim abhijataha asi, abhilaksha jataha asi. You are born with the divine attributes, don't worry. That means bhavi kalyanaha tvam asi ityartha. You are bound to end up your life with something good, don't worry. This is one of the most positive quality of any good teacher, who is able to inculcate confidence and self-respect in the mind of the student. Otherwise, if you go on continuing all the time the student, you are useless, you are good for nothing. So such a person, even if he is by chance good, he will start to deteriorate and become worse. Therefore, Bhagavan says, Ma shuchaha sampadam daivim abhijatosi pandava. You have all the positive qualities, don't worry. That means you are bound to be on the right track. Now, after having told this, now Bhagavan takes up the theme, and this has come early in the morning in our classes. Dvau bhuta sargau lokesmin Daiva asura eva cha Daivo vistarasha proktaha Asuram partha me shrunu Dvau dvi sankhyakou bhut sargau bhutanam manushyanam sargau srishti Bhut sargau srujyate iti sargau bhutani eva srujyamanani deva sura sampad yuktani dvau bhut sargau iti uchyate. In this world there are two types of people which are born. One type of people are with the divine qualities, and other type of people which are the non-divine qualities. And this is how the world is. See, our approach should be, whenever we interact with any knowledge, our approach should be, how do we apply this knowledge in our life so that we grow spiritually? This should be one criteria whenever we study anything. Because we do not want to study only to ultimately become erudite scholars. No, that is not the criteria of our studies. Our criteria is that we have to apply this knowledge in our life and grow spiritually. Therefore, dvau bhuta sargo lokesmin daiva asura evacha. Now when the world is created like this, or the world is consisting of these two types of people, and we know that only the Daivi Sampad Vimokshaya, therefore all our attempt should be that we cultivate the divine qualities in us, and if there are people with the bad disposition, we just keep away. We don't get influenced by that, because that alone is going to help us. One. Second thing, we cannot improve the world or improve anybody in this world. See, it is very important. Just now example I tell you, like that other girl who came here. So she was so frustrated when I went over there, completely dejected, disgusted. And then, Swamiji, can you help? What can I help? If you want, she can come and study. I will see that she is admitted. Don't worry about it. So you do from your side. But you cannot help anybody in this world unless that body wants to get helped. You cannot help. And if this is your foundation of life, what will you do? You will do your best as your sadhana, but because of the external happening, you will not get disturbed. That is important. Otherwise, bitterness gets into our system. I have helped so many people, they are useless. No, don't mix up. We have to continue on our spiritual path. Therefore, how do we do this? This is the foundation. That the world is like that. Dvau bhuta sargo lokesmin daiva asura evacha. And once we accept this, then we have no problem. What is the problem? We expect that everybody should be good. It will not happen. We expect the thing should be like this. Once we are told, second time we are told. The other day he was telling me, Swamiji, in this particular spot there is darkness, and see, we have told them to put one light, because this is children play and it's a corner, blind corner, and it is slippery, water is also there, sometime the snake has to go. So one small bulb, they don't have to do anything, simply put one bulb there, extension. How many times we can say, don't put, what we should do? So I said, Dvo bhuta sargo lokesmin daiva asura eva. You cannot do anything. Always remember one principle. We have to leave this place as early as possible. This is the attitude which will keep us free from all the problems of life. And this thing we learn when we are going from one place to another place. Every 7 days we have to go. So anywhere I go, there will be 101 problems. Somewhere bathroom problem, somewhere cranky people around problem, somewhere the climate is the problem, somewhere arrangement is the problem. It is there. So, good. Let us start not counting up. Start counting down. 7, 6, 5, 4. And as you are nearing the time of departure, you are extremely happy. See? In the same manner. Let us have this attitude that this world has been always like that. Because of this world, let us not destroy our peace of mind. Now, after having understood this from this principle, then Bhagavan says, Daivo vistarashaha proktaha asuram parthame shrino dvayoho ha prajapatya devascha surascha. In Brihadaranyaka Upanishad it is said, Iti shrute loke asmin samsare ityartaha sarvesham dvaividhi upapattehe. So, in this world, the Lord created these two types of people, the Deva and the Asuras. And this is how, in our Purana the stories come. These two are constantly fighting. So one day, Bhagavan Narayan said to Devas, they were constantly complaining, Bhagavan, he said, how long are you going to complain? Why don't you make friendship with them? And together do something creative. So involve them. And then the Devas goes and says, hey, why not we do something creative project together? Then what is to be done? Let us start creating wealth. And for that they start churning the Milky Ocean. So, Dvayoho prajapatyaha devascha surascha. So this is how the world is consisting of two types of people. So, kau tau bhuta sargau iti uchete prakratau eva daiva asuraj evacha. So these are the two types of people, the daiva and the asuras. Now, daivi bhuta sargaha abhayam samsasuddhi ityadina vistarashaha vistara prakaraihi proktaha kathita. So I have explained you in very great detail the 22 points. Starting from Abhayam Sattva Samshuddhi, Jnana Yoga Vyavasthitihi, Dhanam Damascha. From there I started up to Dhruti. So all this was Vistarashaha, in exhaustive details I told. Natu Asuro Vistarashaha. But I have not explained to you this Asuric Sampatti, this devilish attitude in exhaustive details. For what? Ataha Tat Parivarjanartham. So to get rid of the negativities from life, Asuram Partha me shrunu me mama vachanat uchchamanam vistarashaha shrunu avadharaya. Avadharaya, come to a final conviction that these are the things which are bound to keep us in the relative existence. First thing, what happens, we are not even able to recognize that what we are struggling, whether it is in the right direction or not. That also we are not ready to recognize. Like yesterday, so many people came. And they had the same thing. Swamiji, we have been doing meditation for so many days and nothing is happening. So what we should do? I said, what do you want to happen? See? This is kind of a peculiar situation that I want liberation. But who is this I is never inquired into. Therefore, Uchchavanam visheshataha shrunu avadharaya. First of all, be convinced that our spiritual progress is getting rid of I and not improving the I. Relativity cannot be improved upon. Because in relativity what happens? If you improve one, the other will go down. We have seen in the 14th chapter, when the sattva increases, rajas tamas goes down. When rajas increases, sattva tamas goes down, and so on. So, there is nothing that we can do in the relative world. The only way is go beyond them. And to go beyond the relative world is to get rid of this I. Therefore, avadharaya, change your understanding and be convinced that this is what is going to keep us in relativity and this is what is going to take us out of relativity. Now, what is that? अध्याय परिसमाप्तेः आसुरी संपत् प्राणी विशेषणत्वेन प्रदर्शते प्रत्यक्षीकरणेन च शक्यते अस्याः परिवर्जनं कर्तुम् इति. Now अध्याय परिसमाप्तेः up to the end of this chapter, like amarana, up to death. So अध्याय परिसमाप्तेः, up to the end of this chapter, we will be talking about this asuri sampatti and prani visheshanatveena pradarshate. And this will be shown by describing some characters. Because to explain something, it is easier for us to comprehend by expression of those things in the form of characters of people. So, pratyakshi karnena cha, and also it will be brought to our notice through these examples. And once this is known, then only asyaha parivarjanam kartum shakyate. Then only we will be able to get rid of this negative, asuric, indulgent and accumulative tendency, parigraha. So, the foundation on which this devilish people function is explained in the 7th verse. Pravrittim cha nivrittim cha janana vidurasuraha na shaucham napi chacharo न सत्यम तेषु विद्यते. Now, asura janaha, those who are with these asuric tendencies, pravrittim cha pravartanam yasmin purushartha sadhane kartavye pravrittihi tam निवृत्ति च तद विपरीताम यस्मात् अनर्थ हेतोः निवर्तितव्यम सा निवृत्ति ताम च जनाः असुरा न विदु न जानन्ति. These people don't even understand. They don't know. What they don't know? Where to get involved and where from to withdraw. See? This is the speciality of these asuric people. See, in the 18th chapter, Bhagwan will tell us there are 3 types of knowledges. One knowledge is that pravrittim cha nivrittim cha karya kare bhayavahe bandham moksham chayavetti buddhi sa partha satviki. That understanding wherein we are able to know where to get involved and where from to withdraw. That understanding is called a sattvic understanding. Now here exactly the same words opposite. Pravrittim cha nivrittim cha janana vidurasuraha. So these people with the devilish attitudes, they are unable to understand pravartanam yasmin purushartha sadhane kartavye pravritti. What we should seek in life. See, we all have seen in this world and in also our own life. First of all, we'll see in our own life and then we'll see the world to understand. When we are with the boiling blood, and that time if we are told that look here, this kind of things, what you are doing is no good. This is not going to do good to anybody. Change your lifestyle. Do you think that we have heard and listened? This is how many elderly people have this problem. They come and tell us, Swamiji, why don't you do something for the youngsters? They need this knowledge more than anybody. And that is the only concern. Their spirituality means worrying about improving others. So I used to just keep quiet. One person was after my brains. So I said, Papaji, sit down. I said, you tell me, when you were small, young, did you ever do this thing? Swamiji, this is the reason, I am telling, because I have destroyed myself. I don't want new generation to be destroyed. I said, that time your parents also have the same attitude, but did you listen to them? So don't bother. This is not going to help you. Therefore, pravrittim, in which area we should get involved, these ignorant, asurik, sampatti yukta people do not know, na viduhu. Now, if you see around, we are not yet convinced that the highest spiritual practice is satsanga. We are not yet convinced. Therefore, whenever we are told or we are asked, Swamiji, what sadhana we should do? Then you tell them that you sit in one asana and do this many asanas and then do the pranayama, then do this japa. That is spiritual sadhana, we understand. But to regularly practice satsanga, conduct satsanga, listen satsanga, and change our own wrong notions. This is the real spiritual practice. This does not go in our system. And all of us live our own convictions. Therefore, this asura janaha, these devilish tendency, indulgent people, they never understand. They may be walking the so-called spiritual path, but their spiritual path is only like, a disgusted person about health. Because he has lots of diseases. Such a person is ready to do anything. I know two couples. Both of them don't have children. So one couple's mother, she was after me, Swamiji, you please tell them. I said, look here, they are happy. Why you meddle in their life? No, Swamiji, we don't have any child, next generation. She was itching my head. I said, okay, I'll phone in front of you. Then I phoned her daughter. So she says, Swamiji, I'll talk to you back after I talk to my husband. And again 5 minutes she phoned back. We are very happy as we are. We have no problem. I said, now you listen. When your children are happy, why you are miserable? See? This is how we ourselves make our life miserable and others. Now, the other one, very intelligent, highly educated couple, and there also the same problem. Now that girl has come to a very clear conviction. He said, Swamiji, earlier I was getting disturbed, but slowly now, after interacting with the world, slowly that thought has disappeared from my mind. Now it doesn't, I feel it is a burden. God has been kind enough that when we see the people around, not a single person who is with children is ever happy. So God has given us such a good opportunity. We live our life cheerfully, happily and pass through this world. And this is how they are continuing. Suddenly that husband gets the fever. And then they will get involved into anything. All doctors over, Ayurveda over, homeopathy over, and then Patrika over, then the stones. So get the stones, put around your neck and jump into the water. See? Pravrittim cha na vidu, vidurasuraha. They don't understand what for we are getting involved and wherein. Then nivrittim cha tad viparitam asmat yasmat anartha hetu nivartitavyam. And also they are not able to understand that we are getting caught up in the relative existence. Very, very important. Otherwise, we imagine we are walking the spiritual path. And what is our spiritual path? Constant comparison. Please remember this. When we compare our life with the life of others and come to a conclusion that we are better than others in all respects, we are 0% spiritual. Very, very important. Many times this is a funny notion. We are like this, we never do this thing, we never eat money, we have done everything perfectly nice, and we are very sincere, we are dedicated. Hare Ram, 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 Ram. Therefore, pravrittim cha nivrittim cha janana vidurasuraha na jananti. They don't know. Now, na kevalam pravritti nivritti eva na viduhu na shaucham na apicha acharaha na satyam teshu vidyate. And all the divine qualities are also totally absent in them. First of all, na teshu shaucham vidyate. Shaucham is, as we have seen in the divine qualities, the external purification and the internal purification. External purification easy to understand. But that also many people don't understand that how dirty their lifestyle is, because they are not yet aware. And the inner purification, freedom from comparison, is inner purification. See, this is how the mind survives. If you practice, just observe this thing. This you will not get in any books. When you look at any object, for example, this paperweight I look. Now I have been looking at this paperweight for last 2 years. Every time I look at it. And one day, where I had my lecture, they had also kept one paperweight, so that the things don't move. And when I was looking at that paperweight, I was remembering this paperweight. Is it necessary? Because the mind, to survive, has to compare. And this is how we are going away from the truth. Similarly, when we see the people, we compare. The wives will compare their husband with some other husbands. The husbands will compare their wife with some other wives. The parents will compare their children with some other children. And there is no end to this comparison. Therefore, as long as there is comparison, we are impure, we are dirty. So, na teshu shaucham vidyate, na cha acharaha. Acharaha means maya vinaha. Maya vinaha, those who are only pretending that they are having something better and superior than others. They do not have their acharan according to the scriptural injunctions. Scriptural injunctions are meant for purification of the mind. They are not meant for torturing us. When we are told, get up early in the morning and do Sandhya Vandanam, that is not meant for torturing us. So, na acharaha and anrutavadinaha hi asuraha and na satyam teshu vidyate. And they do not honor, they do not respect the truth. Their truth is their own convenience. Whatever is convenient to them, that becomes their truth. In this manner, these asuras are ignorant about these basic requirements of life. Now, after their foundation of ignorance is told, now what is the way they think about the world? In the 8th verse, asatyam apratishtamte jagadahuranishwaram aparasparasambhutam kimanyat kamahaitukam. Asatyam yatha vayam andrita prayaha tatha idam jagat sarvam asatyam. As the people, they think, like there is a saying in Sanskrit, papi sarvatra papam ashankate. If I have the sinful attitude in me, when I look at the world, I will see only the bad things in the world. See? I remember once we were in somewhere in US, and a young boy and a girl, and they were moving somewhere. We are going to see some nice spot, visitor spot, and one young boy and girl holding hand in hand, going and all that. So the person who was with me, he said, Swamiji, this is how our culture is totally destroyed in this country. Look at this young boy and girl. I said, what is there? They are going together holding hand in hand and hugging and all that. What is wrong in that? Swamiji, you also talk like that. I said, yes, what is wrong? No, you don't understand. I said, let us see who understands. Then when we were going, I said, hi, kaise ho? Because they were Indians. So when I said, hi, kaise ho? So they smiled. They say, you know Hindi? I said, yes, I don't know English, therefore I talk to you in Hindi. And you look so sweet, both of you. So I couldn't contain. So I must tell you that you are very sweet. Immediately they introduced, Swamiji, he is my younger brother and he has come from Kansas and we stay here. So we decided he is here for 3-4 days to go and for outing and enjoy. Because I am here, I also took 2 days leave from my work and he has come from college. I said, hey, why not we all take coffee together? Yes, we can. And they become very good friend. For half an hour we had coffee. Then I asked my friend, see how bad these people are in this country. This is how it is our mind which is projecting things outside. There is nothing like that. This is what is said over here, that asatyam yatha vayam andrita prayaha tatha idam jagat sarvam api asatyam. Those who have this notion that they have got their work done only by or rather through bribes. The whole world is full of bribes. It is not so. It's very important. Another example, I had a friend and there was one lady, she has to go from Jamshedpur to Delhi, some urgent meeting. So she has to take the train. So I was to go, that person came with me and that lady came with me. I said, okay, we'll go and talk to the TT whether he will give. Swamiji, you go back. You don't understand anything. Just things happen, just give money, things happen. You don't know, I'll do it. I said, all right. And when the TT came, this old man, he said, you have to take her inside, okay? And he took out 100 rupees note. And the TT happened to be a different type. He took that 100 rupees note, threw it on the platform. Take it. Don't come again. And he is an elderly man, 78 years old. Throughout his life, he must have practiced that. Now what is to be done? What is to be done? So, when he went, then I was pretending as if I do not know anything. Then I said, Prabhu, very difficult to see a person like you who could so easily throw that money. Normally people don't. Anyway, I have come for the same purpose. My Amma has to go. And I don't know how you can help me. So you tell me how you can help me. He said she will have to go standing for 2 hours. After that, there may be one berth free, I can give. I said, okay, doesn't matter. Mama, you have to do sadhana, standing, okay? Not on one leg, 2 legs. And she got into that and finally went. Then I asked, Mama, what happened to your 100 rupees? And Babaji, he don't know anything. Asatyam yatha vayam anrita prayaha tatha idam jagat sarvam asatyam apratishtam. And nacha asya dharma adharmo pratishtaha atah apratishtam chaiti. And they imagine that this world is not on the foundation of the law of karma. There is something called as dharma. They know, they don't accept that. And iti jana asuraha jagat ahuhu. They think that the whole world is moving only on the foundation of corruption and bad things. And not only that, jagat ahuhu anishwaram. Nacha dharma adharma savyapekshakaha asya shashita ishvaraha vidyate iti ataha anishwaram jagat ahuhu. And not only they accept that there is something called as dharma adharma on which the world is existing, and there is the controller of this dharma adharma and this world. They don't accept. They say this world has always been like this and it is like this. Therefore, let us lead only the way we want. So Jagat Ahu Anishwaram. They don't accept that there is some divine power which is controlling, which is sustaining this world. And their argument is Kincha aparaspara sambhutam kama prayuktoho stri purushayoho anyonya sanyogat jagat sarvam sambhutam. The whole world is the product of man and woman coming together with a view to procreate. This is how the whole world is created. Look here. They are so disgustingly involved, only one single thought, as if the whole world has nothing else except this. And therefore, aparaspara sambhutam kama prayuktoho stri purushayoho anyonya sanyoga jagat sarvam sambhutam. This is how many young couples have this notion. This you will see particularly in the Western countries, our Indians who have gone. They have this funny notion that first 5 years after marriage, no children, no nothing, let us enjoy. And after 5 years, then we will have children and lead our life. As if only the man and woman coming together produces the child. There is some higher force that we don't understand. And then after 5 years, when they are not getting, then they start going from pillar to post for every kind of thing. And then ultimately, what do you suggest, Swamiji, if we adopt a child? I said, you are making yourself into such a trap. If the Lord wanted you to have a child, He would have given you. Why do you get into it? But it is difficult for them to understand. But is it not good, to help some orphan child? I said, it is very good. Instead of adopting one child, why don't you establish an orphanage and look after the whole orphanage? No. One couple I am telling you, and finally they adopted one child. After the child was adopted, that girl was growing, and then the differences between the husband and wife started increasing on account of this adopted girl, because this adopted girl was a terrible one. And ultimately The husband and wife separated because of this adopted girl. And then this girl did not want to stay with the father, wants to stay with the mother, because she could manipulate mother easily. And then the whole life is now only this issue. Now she is 16, now she is 14, now she is 12, now she has to another 4-5 years. After she is mature enough, she will go out, and then I will be legally free. Till then I am bound. And all whatever she had, she has to spend everything only to look after this terrible monster girl which they have adopted. Who told you? Swamiji, I think what you told was right. I said, never mind, next life try. Therefore, world is not only because of our desire to procreate, but there is some higher power. Therefore, aparaspara sambhutam kim manyat kama hetukam eva kama hetukam kim manyat jagataha karanam na kinchit adrishtam dharma adharmadi karanantaram vidyate jagataha kama eva praninam karanam iti lokayati kadrishtihi iyam. So there is a group of philosophers, they are called as lokayati, meaning those who are only the charvakas. They say only because of the desire to procreate the whole world is maintained. There is nothing else in this world. In this manner, kimanyat kama hetukam, can there be any other reason for the existence of the world except the desire to procreate, if they have this kind of argument? If all the people, like in one place they told me, if all the people will become sannyasi like you, Swamiji, how the world will continue? As if the world continues because of these people getting married. Even if they are not born and come in this world, the world will continue. World is sustained by the divine will, but this does not occur to them. Now, because of this wrong notion, what happens? 9th verse. Etam drishtimavashtabhya nashtatmanolpabuddhayaha prabhavantyugra karmanaha kshayaya jagato hitaha. Etam drishtim avashtabhyaha ashrityaha. So, taking refuge in this kind of view of life. If this is the view of life, etam drishtim avashtabhyaha, like in politics. In politics, if they will not create problem and come on the media every now and then, that is the political death. There was one person in Rajasthan or somewhere. So, we were having a thing, and then this, correspondents, reporters, they came and they said, Swamiji, we want to interview you. I said, I had nothing to talk, and I am not very fond of that you should write something about me in the newspaper. So don't worry, there are many good people. You talk to them, interview and do. Why you don't want? I said, no, I am not interested. But why? I said, I am funny. What can I do? I am like that only. There is no reason. I don't want. Then he said, the other person, Swamiji, but unless you are reported in the newspaper and then people know, and this is how the work can be increased. I said, I don't want to increase the work. This is more than enough. Then their correspondent told. He said, you are a very peculiar Swami we came across. One Swami came and asked me, that correspondent was telling, what is the way by which I can remain in the media for longer period and more people know about me? Can you do something, and what are your charges? So he said, I told that person that let there be some scandal standing around you. And we will create that scandal. Don't worry about it. And as long as the scandal goes, you are in the media. And then we ourselves will again put that all the scandal has been fake. And once you come in the media, become popular, then you can continue. Look here. This is how, when the drishti, when the vision of life is corrupted, one can go to any way. So, etam drishtim avashtabhyaha asitya nashtatmanaha nashtasvabhavaha vibhrashta paraloka sadhana. Now here is another very important topic. Spiritual life means, unless we have accepted that there is some higher possibility of existence, we will not like to get out of this relative existence. If we have this notion that whatever is here only between the birth and death of the body, there is nothing hereafter, we will never think of higher possibility, and therefore we will never think of any higher spiritual life. And that is why they are alpa, the nashtatmanaha, vibhrashta paraloka sadhana. They will never think of higher possibilities in life to go to heaven, etc. Now see what happens. When we have accepted that the bad kind of lifestyle takes us to hell and good kind of lifestyle takes us to heaven, we will not change. See, this is one basic principle. All the laws of moral existence can become invalid if the next birth and the earlier birth is not accepted. Suppose I accept that with the conclusion of this body, everything is over and there is nothing thereafter. Then who cares? During this period of my existence in this body, I will enjoy even at the cost of killing others. This is how etam drishtim avashtabhya nashtatmanaha. So vibhrashta paraloka sadhana alpa buddhayaha Vishaya Vishaya Alpa Eva Buddhi Shanti Alpa Buddhaya. And their mind is all the time attracted only in the finite pursuit. They cannot think of something infinite, something higher in their life, and therefore prabhavanti udbhavanti ugra karmanaha krura karmanaha himsatmakaha. Such people are engaged in all kinds of terrible, destructible, cruel activities of life. And kshayaya jagataha prabhavanti iti sambandha. And thus they are prompted only for the destruction of this world. You know, it is something like once you get involved with this underworld, there is no way that you can get out of it. In the same manner, once you get into this wrong line of thinking, then one will never be protected from his own lifestyle. So, prabhavanti udbhavanti ugra karmanaha, krura karmanaha. Kshayaya jagataha, jagataha ahita shatravaha ityartaha. And they become the enemies of the world. What are the enemies of the world? In this we can put all the terrorist groups and their supporters. But at least, if you have to compare the terrorists, at least, they sacrifice their life for whatever goal they have chosen, right or wrong. But the so-called Rajanitigya, they don't risk their life, but they are constantly destroying the whole world. They will become more intense terrorists. So in this manner, etam drishtim avashtabhya nashtatmanolpa buddhaya. Their understanding is, as long as we are in this chair, let us loot away as much as we know. Next time, who knows about it? And therefore, prabhavanti ugra karmanaha, they don't hesitate to get involved into any kind of destructive activity. They are the real enemies of the world. And further, kama mashritya dushpuram dambhamanamadanvitaha मोहाद गृहीत्वा सद्ग्राहान् प्रवर्तन्ते शुचिव्रताः कामम इच्छा विशेषम आश्रित्य अवष्टभ्य. So they are, and which kind of ichha vishesham? Dushpuram kamam. See, this is one most important thing. If we separate these two things, one is desire and second is desire for something. For example, I have a desire for let us take good food. Very good. So I will fulfill that desire for good food by eating good food. Thereafter, that desire for good food has gone away, but the desire by itself has not disappeared. Then this desire will get associated with next thing. Now there should be a good ice cream. So you get good ice cream. After you eat that good ice cream, then has the desire gone? No. Now there should be a nice place to sleep. Then you get a nice place to sleep and you sleep. Then you get up. Then again the desire comes. Now let us have a nice cup of tea. In this way, we may fulfill some desires related to something, but the virus of desire is kept intact. This is what is called as dushpuram kamam. Dushpuram, that which cannot be satiated, that which cannot be fulfilled. That is why, Mahabharatkar and also in the Bhagavad this thought comes that to get rid of the desire by fulfilling the desire is an attempt to put off the fire by putting fuel into it. It is impossible. So, kamam ichha vishesham ashritya avashtabhya dushpuram ashakya puranam and dambha mana madanvitaha. Dambha cha manaha cha madaha cha dambha mana madaha taihi anvita dambha mana madanvita. And then for the fulfillment of their desire, what are the supports they take? One is dambha, we have already seen that. Dambha is hypocrisy. Then mana, all kind of arrogance and the self-respect, and the madaha. Madaha is having an attitude in which we condemn the whole world and consider ourselves to be far superior than others. And in this manner, mohat avivekataha gruhitva upadaya asadgrahan ashubha nishchayan. And as a result, they are constantly engaging the wrong kind of prepositions and wrong kind of decisions in their life. Ashubha nishchaya, wrong commitments. One thing I'll tell you, try to practice this. The other day I went somewhere and then one person came and he said, Swamiji, I want to ask a favor from you, but you have to promise me that you will say yes. I said, I have not given a promise even to God or even to my parents. I will not give you any promise. How you can straight away say, I said yes, I will not give promise. No, I swear by you, I will not ask you something wrong. I said, don't swear by me. If you have to swear, you die. Don't call me in between. Never do these two things in life. Never take an oath for anything. Don't bind yourself. Here they said, asad grahan, ashubha nishchayan. And whenever there is something good, a good sankalpa comes in your mind, immediately execute. If there is a bad sankalpa which comes in your mind, postpone it. Don't fight it. And in this manner, slowly we get out of it. But these asuras असद्ग्राहान अशुभ निश्चयान प्रवर्तन्ते अशुचि व्रता अशुचिनी व्रतानि येषाम ते अशुचि व्रता. Which is the ashuchi vrata? That if I go and kill these people, I will go to heaven, and I am fighting for the right cause, for the cause of the nation, for the cause of the religion. This kind of approach is not a spiritual approach at all. Now, such people, when they are all the time busy in these kinds of activities, then what happens? Chintam parimeyancha pralayantam upashritaha kamopabhoga parama etavadati nischitaha. चिंताम अपरिमेयांच न परिमातुम शक्यते यस्याः चिंताया इयत्ता सा अपरिमेया ताम अपरिमेयाम. Aparimeya means it cannot be calculated, it cannot be measured, it cannot be calibrated. That he has or she has worry 1 kilogram or worry only about this. No. There, chinta, worries have no limit. Chinta cha aparimeya. And pralayanta maranantam upasritaha. And they continue to worry beyond their limits. Till the last moment of their life, they are only worried. So, pralayantam upasritaha sada chinta para ityartaha. So such people are all the time functioning under the influence of the worries. So what it means? It means if we are worrying type of people, we are asuras, we are rakshasas. So worries are always with reference to future. Worries are only because we have lived the past in a wrong manner. And therefore the fear, what will happen? In this manner, aparimeyam chintam pralayantam upashrita. Up to the last moment of their life, what is going to happen? They live only under tension and worries. Now imagine, whether you take Dharma Shastra, the path of righteous existence according to scriptures, Shastra Pramana, or you take the path of devotion, and if we have really walked path of Dharma or path of devotion, what should be happening to us towards the evening of our life? And that is freedom from worries and fear. If freedom from worries and fear has not happened in our life, we were deceiving ourselves that we were leading a righteous life and we were leading a life of devotion. Therefore, this fear and worries are the symptoms that we have not lived a right kind of life. So, chintam parimeyancha pralayantam upasitaha and kamopabhoga paramaha kamayante iti kamaha shabdadaya tad upabhoga paramaha ayam eva param purushartho yaha kamopabhogaha iti evam nishchitatmanaha. So kamopabhoga parama means for whom indulgence with the shabda sparsha rupa rasa gandha, having only enjoyment with the worldly objects, that becomes the only purpose of existence. See? Or the whole thing can be summarized by one verse from Subhashita, that is said, that ahara nidra bhaya maithunancha samanya etat pashubhi nirnanam. 4 things are common. Ahara, eating, nidra, sleeping, bhaya, fear, security, insecurity, and the maithunamcha, procreation. If this only is done by somebody, he need not be called as a human being. The glory of human existence is we are seeking something more than at the material level. But such people, kamopabhoga parama, their whole life is spent only in this pursuit. How much more indulgent we are, how much more we can do it. See, you will see, the prosperity in life loses the charm in life. This is what I have seen after moving so many places. They have got everything, but there is no charm in life. They have got husband, wife, children, beautiful bungalows, car, like a picture drawn, imaginary existence of the bungalow in the form of reality. One person took me to his house in where it was, in US or somewhere, and it is such a beautiful place that you can just only dream that this place can ever exist. On a top of a hillock which is nearer to the sea, and after their house there is nothing except the beautiful sea. You can get a 270-degree view of the sea, and sea is also so beautiful. And everything. The road they are going in a nice way, beautiful long, wide lawns, nice tree plantation, landscaping, house so beautiful. Now you cannot add anything. And inside, husband, wife, frustrated, worried, angry, disgusted, misunderstanding. I think, since we have come in this house, all our problems started. Swamiji, is this house vastu drishtya all right? I said, you have to change yourself first, then bother about others. We get so much lost. Therefore here, Bhagavan says, kamo bhoga parama. When we get too much involved in the external world, we neglect the inner beauty of life. Therefore, more the prosperity in the outer world, lesser is the opportunity that we spend any time on working on our inner being. All the time only calculating. I have done this thing, you should do that. I have done this thing, you should do that. Therefore, kamo bhoga parama, and this is the parama purushartha for them. How much more I can earn, how much more I can indulge, how much more rich I can become, that is all. And iti evam nishchayatmanaha etavad iti nishchitaha. And this is their final definition of life. This is all life is. We are born in this world to indulge and enjoy. Nothing else, nothing more, nothing less. Kamo bhoga parama etavat iti nishchitaha. They do not have any other additional thing in their life other than this. Kamo bhoga ramata parama etavat iti nishchitaha. Now when we have this kind of vision of life, such people not only are engaged in the indulgence, worry all the time, but they also have moghasha, mogha karmanaha, mogha jnana vichetasaha. Remember in the 9th chapter. This is brought out in the 12th mantra. Asha pashashatair baddhaha काम क्रोध परायणाः ईहन्ते काम भोगार्थम् अन्यायेनार्थ संचयान् आशापाश शतैः बद्धाः. So आशा एव पाशाः तत् शतैः आशा पाश शतैः. The hopes about the future, expectations about the future, desire, planning that this should happen, that should happen, they themselves are the pasha, the bondage. And they are not one. Shataihi, innumerable, hundreds of them. Asha pasha shataihi bandhaha niyantrita santaha sarvataha eva akrishyamanaha. In short, they are constantly pulled left and right by vain hopes and expectations from this world. They have got their own calculation. I will do this thing, then this will happen, then this will happen, then this will happen, and further, and constantly thinking about all these imaginary things and refusing to live the present beautiful moments of divine presence. You know, we come across many people in this world, they are as persons very good. One couple I know, they are very good people. There is nothing that should bring any discord or misery in their life. And yet, there is one problem. The problem is, husband is all the time unsteady about what is to be done. And constantly wants to prove, I want to know. There is nothing that is lacking in their life. Good health, a lot of money, good children. There is no problem of any kind. Now everybody's problem is that father. Where he is doing very well, earning sufficiently well, sufficient property, everything is going fine, except this man. Continuously worried and wanting everybody around him to change, and this has never happened. And as a result, there is always there is frustration from within. Asha pasha shataihi baddhaha. And then kama krodha parayanaha. Those who have got lots and lots of hope and expectation, they are bound to be leading a life full of desire and anger. This portion we will take in our next class.
शांति 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 हरि ओम श्री